Okay, I've already done a tutorial on how to do a walk. But I think I've called it method one, which essentially is for all regular walks, if you like. Most people walk at approximately a constant speed. Though of course you can add variation into that with time warp and various things. But what if your walk's very irregular? So even one cycle of your walk is very irregular. Think of an old person shuffling around. Maybe there's pauses between each step, or a zombie dragging its foot, or somebody hopping, or somebody walking in a zigzag. Then doing a walk in the turntable fashion, where you animate the feet moving backwards at exactly the same rate that this moves forwards, giving the illusion that the feet are static on the floor. That doesn't work so well. So I'm going to show you another way of animating motion, which uses a slightly different method. And I'm just going to use a hop because it's nice and simple. But of course, if I was doing a two-legged walk, I would just have to use this with both feet as opposed to one. But I'll show you with a hop. So I've got my character, and I'm going to have him hopping. I'll say it's 25 frames, so I'll make that 25 long. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is, okay, but let's just say this is his starting position. So I'm just going to, this as far as I'm concerned, this is fine. Actually, what I'm going to do before I start is I'm going to put the this plane that I've got, this ground plane. Let's call it ground plane. I'm going to put this in a layer so I can kind of turn it off. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm going to have, first of all, I'm going to select all Monty's controls, and I'm just going to key them in frame 1. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to key 8. So he's going to, so 8 is when he's going to go down. He's going to go down. He may go up a little bit before he goes down, but I'll see what this looks like. So I can have him coming down. So let's see there, like this. Maybe bend that foot forward a little bit like that. So it's going to, and maybe have him coming, or maybe I'll have him go up a little bit with anticipation of his anticipation. So he's going up very slightly. What's going on there? It's very strange. So let's see, so it goes, so it's kind of like a little bit up, maybe a bit more before he comes down. So kind of, yeah, okay, so well, that'll do. And then he's going to go up to the apex of his jump, say try 15 or 16. So I'm going to pull him up now to the apex, so he's going to go up and across a bit like this, like so. There we go. And I'm just going to alter this so it feels more like a jump, because obviously when you're coming off the jump, you want a lot of acceleration. So I'm going to break this tangent here. This is the Y tangent. I'm going to break it using this, and I'm just going to pull it up so it's more like, if you've done the bouncing ball exercise, it's more like that. So down, and I'm going to pull this kind of him coming down a bit faster too, so it's a bit more. Okay, so that, and then I'm going to have him land again, which will be at the same position as this one, but say in this case I can move it along to say frame 22. You can always change these, but in the meantime I'll do try 22. What if I should make it there? Okay, make it roughly in the middle. So this is him landing down again, and I'm going to use the same kind of curve. So it's one of those curves that kind of like the ball curve. He falls into it, boom, and then I'm essentially going to echo what I've done here. I'm going to have the same height as he is here, So I'm just going to copy this, copy, and I'm going to paste this for the last frame. Now you notice he's gone backwards, which I don't want him to do. So I'm not going to alter this though. This, the Z, I'm going to keep here. So I don't want to, because I want him still forward. So I have to remember that the Z is still forward. So you've got this. The body goes up and down. Yeah, up and down. Let me see. And 24, 25. Is that him? So that's in the same place. And yeah, I might have him. I don't have many frames to play with here, but again, I might have this a little bit faster to begin with. I wonder if I can overshoot that slightly. Maybe just there, just like that. Maybe that'll do it. Okay, something like this. Okay, so that's his body, and now I've got to do the foot. So where's the foot going to be? Well, I mean, I'll do both feet, obviously, but so the first foot is going to be planted on the ground until frame 8. And then, of course, it comes off the ground. The apex of this is, we said, 16. So it's up here somewhere. I'm just going to raise that up, pull it over, drop this down a bit, maybe rotate it slightly. So you've got and then it's going to drop down to frame 22. 22 his foot actually lands on the ground, but maybe before that I might have the foot out of, that's strange that I'm getting these. I might have the foot, it's very curious, like a brain or something when it does that. So I might have the foot, let's see what that, and then on 22 the foot is going to come down again. It's going to be flat. So I go to my rotate X and make sure the foot is flat and bring it down the ground. And now, so this is so, it looks like he's stamping a bit there, so I might pull this down a bit. I don't really want a stamp. I want a bit of a bend in the leg, so anyway, something like, and also when his foot lands, I guess the thing is it's going to make it a lot more impactful. This is the problem of landing on a bent foot. It doesn't look very good, so I should probably take off that. I should probably take off that slight curve. Oh, look, I've straightened this foot out. Something like that. Yeah, for some reason, it never. If you land on a bent leg, it never really looks good. It doesn't. It looks weird. So anyway, there we go. So, that seems about fine. Right. So I made a couple more keyframes here. So we've got them going up and then down like this. Yeah. And then back to this position. I'm just going to key this, and then of course we have this foot, and this foot we want in the same position here. So in a way, again, this is quite easy. I'm just going to copy this by right clicking this, copy, and then we go to frame 25 and I'm going to press paste. I'll try that one more time. It's a bit strange. So I'll just copy this again, copy. I've got frame 25 and paste. Okay, so there we go. Now, the thing about this is, of course, again, the Z translation is wrong. So the Z translation here, because unlike the cycle on the spot, where basically the feet just repeat, they do the same thing, they go backwards and forwards. Here the feet and this controller here are actually moving forwards. So when I'm pasting, I'm pasting all the translations and rotations except the Z translation, because as you can see the foot's moving forward in the Z. So this, again, we have that strange effect. I'm going to move down so that the foot is, hang on a second, let's see what happened there. No. Actually, I think I have to move this further forward. Yeah, no, I have to move this further forward. So that goes from there to, well, I can. This is where I have to judge it. I can see it's just under the back end of Monty. If I look at it, it's just under this bit here. So that means it goes like this, and it winds up somewhere like, shall we say, there. Yeah. So we've got that. I wonder if I should pull this foot forward a bit on the jump. Maybe not. He needs to balance, so maybe I'll pull it back a bit. So we've got, so this to that. Okay. So far so good. Yeah. Okay. There's various other bits and pieces we can add into this to make it. It feels a little bit left behind there, so I'm gonna pull this up a bit as well. So maybe like that. Yeah. You know, you can add bits and pieces in to make it look better. So we have something that looks like this. Yeah. So this is essentially the cycle, if you like. Now, of course, you know, there are various things we can add into this. You know, we can, as he leans forward like this, it might be an idea to lean him backwards. I'm always looking at balance slightly, so let me see if I go into my X as he leans forward. Is there an element where he... Oh, it's very strange, that thing. Is there an element where he... And then when he's up in the air, say by 15, 16, you know, he's coming forward again. And then boom, down on, say, this one. Pulling this down a bit here. I mean, yeah. I mean, you can always find, yeah, you can find something that suits you. I mean, see if that works. So anyway, now how do you cycle this? Well, it's very simple. What you have to do is, the first thing you do, the easiest thing to do, is you can just select all the controls. I haven't put any deformations on this as yet. I think that this looks a bit stretched. I'm just going to break the connections on this. I can see it's already a little bit stretched for some reason. I haven't put any deformations on this. I'll do those afterwards. So the easiest way to cycle this is, I'll just show you what happens if we just cycle it as normal, as we would normally do. So we've got 25 frames, and we just cycle them, you know. So you can either go here, curves, post infinity, cycle, like this, or you can, you know, you can do it here by pressing on one of these buttons. I'll do pre-infinity. Okay, so if you just cycle normally, you get something. Let's make it to 100 frames. You get something, of course, that looks like this, which isn't what you want. So now the reason it's cycling like that is it's almost there. Is the problem is that your Z translation of this and the feet control can't be cycled. It has to be cycled with an offset. So that means that this one here, the translate Z, you see the one that's actually moving, I can't cycle it this way. I have to cycle it with this button, cycle with offset. Yeah? And it also means I can also do it here. I can go curves, post infinity, cycle with offset, and pre-infinity I'm going to cycle with offset. Now of course I can also do it here by pressing on this button. Yeah. So now we have this in the Z. Now you can see I also need to do it for his feet. So here on the Z translation, again I need to cycle with an offset, and I'll just use these buttons because they're nice and convenient. Cycle 4 with an offset, and then I can go to this one and do the same thing. Cycle with offset. I'll just cycle before and after with an offset. Okay, so now you have this. Now this is very interesting. Well, it's relatively interesting. So I'm just going to make this slightly larger. You can see what's happening. Now, you see, we have a cycle now, yeah. But I wonder if you notice something's happening as he cycles forward. Actually, I'm going to make this even longer so you can see it. 150. Okay. As he cycles forward, you'll probably notice something. I'll stop it just at the end. If you look at the end, do you see how far back his foot is in relation to the front? So you start off here, where the foot's almost directly under